It can be super overwhelming to decide on an app to save, invest, and manage your money, especially if you're new to actually just like logging into your bank account and making sure you know what's up. So I've decided to go over all the apps and offerings of the wonderful fintech world right now and bring you what I would personally use if I was new to saving, investing, budgeting, and generally managing your money. So jumping right into budgeting apps, the best app and the one that I used when I first started kind of trying to manage all my money, manage all my different accounts that I had, was Money Dashboard. Money Dashboard uses artificial intelligence to automatically categorize your spending, do a little bit of analysis on, you know, where you do spend, where you could do with spending less, where you could save a bit more according to your goals. It'll visually show you your spending, tell you if you're going over budget, and lets you kind of plan your finances for the future. The one thing it doesn't really have are savings goals and categories, and it really focuses on the spending data analysis within the app. However, the winning feature for me within this app is the fact that you can create custom categories when you are analyzing your spending. So if you did have like a really random thing that you spend money on all the time, you can create a category for that and visualize its activity as you spend. The other huge thing is that with a lot of these new apps, not a lot of providers are supported. So if you did have random accounts all over the place, sometimes you can't get them all linked in the one app, which is what we need the app to show anyway. So with Money Dashboard, it's really good because you can create an offline account, set a balance for it, and end up having a visual representation of all of your money in the one app, which is ideal. So while this could take a little bit of front-loaded effort, you know, to set the offline accounts up, to set up some custom categories of spending, I think this would really pay off in the long term when you eventually can see where you're spending too much, spending too little, where you could save, etc. Another app that is quite popular is Emma. Now Emma, very similarly to Money Dashboard, uses AI to analyze your spending, and very similar to Money Dashboard again, you can't really set savings goals within the app. The AI that Emma uses is really handy at picking out, you know, bad habits within your spending, whether that is, you know, subscriptions that could maybe do well with being cancelled, or overdrafts that need paying, generally minimizing overwhelm with money management. If you are stuck between any of these apps, I would suggest having a play around with the interface, because that is what could potentially draw you into an app more than the other, because a lot of these apps do have very similar features. So for example, with Emma, there is a common theme running on the internet that the app is a little bit too simple. Again, not all banks and providers are supported with this app, and you don't have the opportunity to make an offline account and add a balance into there, and there is a bit of a higher monthly cost for Emma. So these might be things you have to think about before going for Emma. Money Hub is also a fantastic option, very similar to Money Dashboard in that it uses AI to really have a look at your spending and provide personalized in-app financial tips and savings tips and things like that. However, there is a monthly fee with Money Hub, and it's 99p a month. There is a 6-month free trial before this fee kicks in, but really importantly, I wanted to mention that Money Hub are super clear as to why they charge this monthly fee, and it's so that your data is protected. Your data isn't necessarily protected with other apps. While they do have clauses in their T's and C's saying that they have the right to sell your data privately, they may not act on it, whereas Money Hub protect your data at all costs, and that is the baseline. So if data privacy is really important to you, the 99p fee a month might not be a huge price to pay for the great features that they do offer alongside keeping your data safe. Now, there are loads of saving apps out there, and I'm going to focus on the ones that have the most important feature in my opinion, and that is an auto saving feature. Auto saving is a really important feature because of how important paying yourself first is in the personal finance industry. It means that you're saving and putting your financial goals ahead of any potentially bad financial habits that you may succumb to during the month and during your pay cycle. The first app is Chip or Get Chip, and as an app they really focus and know the importance of paying yourself first as a feature, and do provide it on the free version of their account as a base level. The auto saving tech is also provided alongside savings accounts with okay interest rates. I don't want to say any interest rates are okay because generally they're not that great right now, but they have partnered with a bank to provide this rate with unlimited withdrawals. So a way that I would potentially use this feature and this account is maybe saving for an emergency fund slowly throughout the year. Chip also has saving and budgeting features where it uses AI, similarly to the other apps I've mentioned, to analyze your spending and work out how much you can afford to save. So with Chip, compared to Money Hub, Money Dashboard, and Emma, there is more of a focus on how you can save, how much you can save versus just managing your spending and budgeting, which is why we are in the savings category right now. The autosave feature is also really handy because you just make sure it's on and you can forget about it, which is the most important part, I guess, for anyone who is struggling with feeling overwhelmed with their finances or having to, constantly set things up or constantly move money around. Plum also has an automated savings feature, but there are different tiers of accounts you can get with Plum. Plum also has a lot of different features in relation to analyzing your spending data analytics, and also they offer ISAs, importantly a stocks and shares ISA with the £1 a month tiered account. This makes Plum a really good app to have all of your finances in, potentially your cash savings, your money management and budgeting, the AI that will help you with your day-to-day monthly spending, and your stocks and shares ISA if you do decide to invest with them. And very importantly, the autosave feature. Moneybox is again very similar to Plum, however you can't really move money around in the app itself, and the extra features that seem quite nice like investing rounded up money might not be useful on practical terms. So again, with apps that are quite similar in features, it's a case of playing around, using free trials where you can to see which app's interface you like a bit more, which one you find easier to navigate, and sticking with that one long term. Now, if you feel overwhelmed by the digital side of things and you would prefer to just have one account where you can just have one app for budgeting and saving and money management, the good news is that you have a few options available to you. Now, Monzo is an app that I use myself, and I use it primarily for its savings pots feature because it lets me build up my sinking funds for discretionary spending like shopping and eating out quite easily within the app itself. You can also get a card for these apps because they're digital banks, not just financial money management apps, and so do come with the spending analysis features that the other apps offer. Not as much AI powered tech in trying to figure out how much you can save and offering you more tailored advice based on your spending. Revolut and Starling Bank also operate in very similar ways, however they don't have the saving pots features right now. A huge selling point of these three apps and digital banks are the fact that they have fee-free spending abroad. If you do travel a lot, this is a really hassle-free way to manage your money. Atom is also another digital bank that is free to use, but it doesn't show you any analyzed spending and also doesn't show you any categorized spending. Atom, however, does provide you with a savings account and you can apply for business loans through this bank. There are higher interest rates on offer and you can actually apply for a mortgage with Atom. So if you are looking to save money, not really manage money, and also look to get a mortgage soon, this might be an account that you want to look at. Now, another great company who have an app are Safe with Nude. Nude is a lifetime ISA provider offering both cash and stocks and shares ISAs. Now, lifetime ISAs are types of ISAs available here in the UK where the government will actually give you up to a 25% bonus on your deposit towards your first home. With the ISA that Nude offer, the rules for which are the same as all other ISAs, you actually get a great variety of money management tools with Nude's ISA offering. This is a collection of features that probably would have sold me when I was looking for an ISA while buying my first flat. So when I did purchase my first flat, I used a high street cash ISA, and while I did deposit money into it regularly, I had no idea about the associated homebuyer fees, the associated money management that you'd need to do in preparation for buying a house, and I really just wasn't managing my money very well. And that's where Nude's features are actually quite cool. So Nude right now have the option to save with a partner, which includes two 25% bonuses towards your deposit. So the team up feature is awesome because it means that if you and your partner both have a LISA account with Nude, you can link up the accounts and you can actually see each other's progress on the app. You don't have to do any calculations, you don't have to do any maths. You can both use your apps together and actually see your journey towards your first home together. You can also get an idea of the house prices or the average house price in the area that you're looking to buy within the app itself. And the app actually uses this figure to calculate the number of years and months and the size of the broken down savings that you would need, inclusive of associated fees, which is actually really helpful to get a visual idea of the associated fees and costs that you would need to save up for before you've even started. Nude's app also encourages you to save your money, spend your money wisely, and generally build a better relationship with your money based on your spending habits. And this one is a huge one for me. You can link your bank accounts up and actually see your expenditure, categorize them, and ultimately cut out the need to do this somewhere else, which is a huge thing, right? Because saving for a flat is a task in itself. If you can do everything you need to do in one app, why not do that? And another cool feature of the app is the countdown feature. Now, I said in the first point that within the app you can actually see your local house prices and see how much deposit and associated fees that you would need to save up. So based on your current finances, your deposit, the location you want to buy your first property, the countdown is a really nice visual reminder of how long it'll be before you're ready to literally put that deposit down and make the purchase. I think this is a really cool feature because it's really motivating to not only look at something that does all the work for you, but also not have to do all those calculations yourself. The money management you get from having your transactions in the one place, as well as a visual reminder of the accurate costs and house deposit that you will need to save up for, as well as the countdown feature, takes a lot of stress out of first getting better with money in preparation for buying your first property, and secondly combining this with the goal of saving for your first home, all in the one app. Amazing. Now, for investing, I think if you are overwhelmed by money management in the first instance, maybe having your investments in one account, or at least at minimum in one separate account, would really help in trying to get you over the line in opening this account and also using it regularly. Now, I mentioned earlier in the video that Plum offer a stocks and shares ISA for £1 a month with their £1 a month tiered account, and they actually have a variety of funds available to invest in with this account, as well as relatively low fees in comparison to other stocks and shares providers out there on the market. So Plum is a great option for if you want to have everything in the one app alongside your main current account. And the £1 a month fee could be a really kind of acceptable price to pay for that convenience. Moneybox is also a great option because of the rounding up feature. However, I do think this might not be as practical as advertised, because it would take a longer time to see the benefit of investing rounded up amounts on your day-to-day spending. However, Moneybox does tend to be favored because of its jargon-free interface. It's quite easy to use, and there's a range of ISAs on offer, including junior ISAs and things like that. And similarly to Plum, you would have to pay the £1 a month upgrade in order to use the extra features like investing. Nutmeg are also a great introductory beginner option to investing, as there's a 12-month fee-free period for having a stocks and shares ISA, and you can base your investments on your investment style and risk appetite. Again, similarly to Moneybox, it is quite jargon-free. They aim to help newbies make investments rather than presenting an app with loads of opportunities to make money. So that was a quick roundup of a couple of apps that I think are really useful to research right now, especially if you want to manage your money, get a bit clearer on where you're spending all your money and where it's all going, and maybe have a think about whether you want to have one app for everything or you don't mind having multiple apps with different purposes and objectives. As always, if you use an app that you love, please drop it down below and share why it is that you love it. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you next week.